Well, good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, and it's October 6th, 2021, and I am back. I made it back safe and sound. And I do want to thank Clint for doing the devotion the last 2 days, but I especially want to thank Ryan Daisy for doing the sermon for me on Sunday. I appreciate both those guys' efforts very much, and I am indebted to them, so I was able to be gone for a few days. And Gail and I did have a good few days off. We got to spend some time with Gail's niece, Michaela, who is back visiting her mother, Gail's sister, this weekend. And I got a chance to go and work out with Michaela. Michaela's a figure competitor. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before. Probably have. And she's getting ready for a competition in not quite 2 months, about 7 weeks out, she said. So she's about 6 weeks out now, I guess. And at any rate, so we got to go to the gym together and work out, and that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was great to be in a big gym that had a lot of equipment that we just unfortunately don't have here at the gym in Lake City. Wish we did. But at any rate, so we had a good time. We did a lot of driving around, did a lot of looking at antiques. That's what Gail and I like to do. So found a few treasures along the way. So let's find a few treasures this morning if we can. So today we're going to be looking at the 5th chapter of John's Gospel. I'm going to look at verses 10 through 18 today. And we had, before I left, we had looked at verses 1 through 9 in John's 5th chapter of John's Gospel. And there it was the healing of the man by the sheep gate, by the pool in Bethsaida. And the man had been an invalid, unable to walk, and Jesus had told him to take up his mat and to walk, and so he did. So that is what's been going on. So let's just dive in and we'll read verse 10 through 18 in chapter 5 in John's Gospel, and then we'll talk about it some more. So the Jews said to the man who had been cured, "It is the Sabbath. It is not lawful for you to carry your mat." But he answered them, "The man who made me well said to me, 'Take up your mat and walk.' They asked him, 'Who is the man who said to you, Take it up and walk?' Now the man who had been healed did not know who it was, for Jesus had disappeared in the crowd that was there. Later Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, 'See, you have been made well. Do not sin any more, so that nothing worse happens to you.' The man went away and told the Jews that it was Jesus who had made him well. Therefore the Jews started persecuting Jesus because he was doing such things on the Sabbath. But Jesus answered them, 'My Father is still working, and I also am working.' For this reason the Jews were seeking all the more to kill him, because he was not only breaking the Sabbath, but was also calling God his own Father, thereby making himself equal to God." Of course, these are some of the verses where we always point a finger at the Jews for putting the Sabbath ahead of the good of human beings. And also this idea that it wasn't that it was healing on the Sabbath was work, that there's that too, but the man was carrying his mat. Well, for goodness sakes, how much work is it to carry a mat? This is not like carrying around a cot or something. This is probably just a woven mat. It's probably not much of all and to call that work to us would seem quite frivolous, to say the word. And that's because they had built up these fences we talk about around the laws. You're not supposed to keep the Sabbath holy. Well, how much can we not do on the Sabbath? Well, they came up with all these crazy law ideas. So that's what's going on here. Part of it anyway. But here, we might be tempted to think this man was healed because he knew who Jesus was, and he was like, think, well, it's just that emotional thing, the power of suggestion. He's been hearing so much about Jesus, and Jesus doing all this healing, and he sees Jesus, and he just jumps into the spontaneous being healed because of the whole psych thing of it, I guess, if not a better word, the whole hype maybe of it. But there's a problem with that because he doesn't know who Jesus is, and it just tells us that. They come to him and ask him, "Who is the man who said to you, 'Take it up and walk'?" Clint will grab that. I'm not sure what's going on there. See, you got it. Anyway, but he doesn't know who he is. I don't have a clue. But they are jumping on this man about walking around carrying his mat, that he's working. So it's not like he knew who Jesus was before he was healed. He didn't have a clue. He didn't know. And it's not until Jesus later comes up to him in the temple. And the interesting thing is that this pool where he was healed by is outside the walls of the temple. And he, rather than going off to his family, He's gone into the temple to thank God for being healed. So that's being a devout Jew. He's going in. Maybe he's even going in to make an offering at the temple for his healing. We don't know. He doesn't talk about that. But at any rate, he's gone into the temple. He's not gone away to go show his family that, hey, look, I'm getting up, I'm up and around, and I'm healed. So Jesus catches up with him in the temple, and there Jesus says to him, later Jesus found the temple and said to him, see, you have been made well. Do not sin anymore, so that nothing worse happens to you. And that's something we probably zip right by. Nothing worse happens to you. There are worse things, Jesus is saying, than being an invalid and being lame and unable to get up and crawl into this pool where you think you're going to be saved. Now, there are worse things. You could lose your soul because you have sinned. So here he is driving that home to this man. But now the man meets Jesus, knows who Jesus is, and so then what's he do? He goes and squeals, basically. Or is he squealing, or is he saying, wow, look, this guy's really got the power? So we don't really know. There's no way to understand what was his motivation there. I'm going to think that he was going to say, look, you guys, I like this attitude better. Look, you guys, you're the ones the same, and you have the ear of God. This guy came and healed me. He truly is the ear of God. He truly is the Son of God. And when they go and confront Jesus about this, that's what Jesus says. My Father is still working, and I also am working. If God's working, how can I be sitting idly by and letting someone suffer that needs to be healed on the Sabbath? Whether it's the Sabbath or not the Sabbath, I'm doing God's work. And we need to look at it that way too. We want to keep the Sabbath holy, but that doesn't mean that on the Sabbath we're not still doing God's work. We are called to do God's work 24/7, as the old saying is, 365. As the new saying is, not an old saying. 24/7. We are supposed to be working for God. At any rate, in here, the Jews point out that he is calling himself God's son and making himself equal to God. And that, of course, it gets to be a bit of a problem for them. And they get blinded and don't see that he really is. So that's where I'm going to leave you at for today. Tomorrow we will jump in with the authority of the Son, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as we continue to work our way through the 5th chapter of John's Gospel. So, hello, Phyllis. I see you watching. God bless you. And God bless everyone else that's out there. And we will see you tomorrow. But please, please, please be a blessing to someone today. Talk to them about Jesus. See you later. Bye-bye.